Hi, I'm Michelle Madrid, welcoming you to this episode of Electrici-TV. And I'm so very glad that you're here with me today because I want to have a heart to heart with you about the intense amount of pressure we can feel oftentimes to rush through the healing process. If you're nodding your head in acknowledgement, then I want you to know that you're not alone. So many of us have faced this pressure, whether it's external or internal, to rush ourselves through the healing process. And I can remember this back in 2016 when I lost my adoptive parents. I lost both of them within a 30-day period. And I could remember the intense amount of pain I was experiencing, but also the intense amount of pressure I was feeling. I think at the time, mostly internally, to just move through, just keep going, move through the pain and not really acknowledge it because I felt like I needed to be there. I needed to be strong for my three small kids. I needed to be there for my partner, for my work. And what happened as I showed up for everyone and everything else is I failed to show up for myself and offer myself the time I needed to heal. So here's the truth ball that I want to share with you today. Healing is not a race. Healing is not a competition. It is a deeply personal journey and it is unique to you. So, why do we feel this intense amount of pressure to rush ourselves through the healing process to hurry up and heal? Well, I think, again, there can be several factors: societal pressures, external pressures, internal pressures, the discomfort we may feel as humans with facing our own emotional and psychological wounds, and maybe a misconception overall about what the healing journey really looks like in the first place. So, I have learned this truth along my own journey, and I want to share it here with you. And that truth is it is essential to give yourself the dignity of your own healing process. I'll say that again. Give yourself the dignity of your own healing process and understand that healing is a very individual, personal, unique journey. And you can give yourself permission to move through that journey in the time, at the pace that you need to move in. You can honor that for yourself. And so, in the honoring, I have an exercise to support you. And to start the exercise, you'll just need a quiet space to sit, be with yourself, your thoughts, your emotions. It's a good idea to have a journal or a notebook, pen, pencil next to you so you can jot some things down. And we're going to start with 3 reflection questions. And the first is, I want you to think about a time when you felt pressured to meet unrealistic standards in your healing process. And number 2, how did this pressure impact your sense of well-being and your sense of progress within your own healing? And then number 3, what would it look like to give yourself grace and allow yourself more time to heal? Once you've reflected on these questions and answered them for yourself, I want to move you through these steps. Number 1, identify unrealistic standards. Just take a moment to think about the unrealistic standards that you've imposed on yourself or that maybe the outside world has imposed on you during your own healing journey. And I want you to write down a list of those standards. Examples might include, I should be over this by now, or I need to be strong and not let anyone see the weakness I feel inside. Once you've listed these unrealistic standards, I want you to challenge the standards without judgment. Ask yourself for each standard, why do I feel this way? Number 2, is this a realistic expectation to have for myself? And number 3, how would I treat a friend who was going through the same situation? Write your reflections next to each standard. And then I want you to replace with self-compassionate statements. So, next to each unrealistic standard, write a more compassionate and realistic statement. For example, you could replace, I should be over this by now, with healing takes time, and it's okay to take as long as I need. And then I want you to create a list of self-compassionate statements on a separate piece of paper, all those self-compassionate statements that you've just come up with. And then I want you to choose one or two that resonate most with you. And these are going to become your personal and empowering daily affirmations. So each day, I want you to spend a few minutes reading these affirmations out loud to yourself and reflect on how they make you feel when you say those words out loud and how they can shift your mindset towards self-compassion and away from self-criticism. And then I'd like you to take a self-compassion break. This is a handy little tool whenever you catch yourself being self-critical. Take a self-compassion break. Just take a pause, take a moment, and ask yourself, what am I feeling right now? This question is going to bring you into the now, into the present moment and your current, very present feelings. And then, how can I be kind to myself in this moment? And number 3, what do I need to hear to feel supported and loved? Write down your thoughts and feelings in your journal or notebook. And then I'd like you to practice this exercise and these steps for at least a week. And after you've moved through 7 days or so, I want you to reflect on any changes you've noticed in your attitude towards yourself. So write a short paragraph, if you will, about how giving yourself grace and space and allowing time to heal has impacted your overall sense of well-being.